Amir have a good ear for music?
He has a great ear for music. Kiran is probably the most musically literate director I've worked with. Sajni was the last song that we created for the film. Well, Arijit was not the original voice of the song. ये आमिर सर का brief है. ये किरण मैम को ऐसे पसंद है तो मैंने ऐसे गाया है. But after a while, yeah, you do get nervous. You think that भाई ये तो होने नहीं वाला है.
Okay, कितना
But
टाइम लिया? 2 मिनट, 6 महीना?
I have only one person to answer to in AKP besides the director, and that's Amir. So it's Kiran and it's Amir. Whereas in Rais, there were a lot of people to answer to. I think it was difficult even for Shah Rukh. He calls sometimes very, very late at night. I'd written that theme. He was really, really into that. He really enjoyed it. Chiraiya was actually born in the hospital, and I actually sent the song to him. I sent it with just the words. I just sung the words as Suna Suna, and that was the composition. It was Suna Suna.
Ram, Sampath, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank you so much for having me.
Ram, first, many congratulations. Your film Laapataa Lady is India's official entry for this year's Oscar Awards.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the entire team, I accept this this warm this thing of yours, praise of yours, and we're feeling very fortunate. We're all very thankful. The film is the gift that keeps on giving. Laapata Ladies has been so generous to us, and yeah, we're just enjoying the ride right now.
We are also very excited. But are you flooded with congratulatory messages right now?
Yes, all of us are. We're all enjoying it. The entire team is soaking in it right now, and we're just very excited about the journey ahead.
Have you all discussed the Oscar plan? Have you spoken to Amir and Kiran?
No, nothing as yet. Nothing as yet. We've just been talking. Just preliminary talks have happened on the phone, but nothing, no plans as yet.
But then let's talk about the film music. Everyone's favorite is O Sajni Re.
Ji.
A lot of people believe that song gives wings to the love story of Sparsh Srivastava and Fools.
Mm-hmm.
What was a brief that was given to you by Kiran Rao for the song O Sajni Re?
Well, the brief was very simple. We needed something that really touched the heart and kind of conveyed why exactly is Deepak missing Phool so much? Because the heart of the story is Deepak's, hunt for Phool. And if you don't feel the love that connection that he has with her, then the entire story falls. So it was very important for us to get a song that had that kind of emotional resonance, that carried his love and his pain, and the core of that loss.
But if I just deconstruct the song, now the story is set in a village.
Mm-hmm.
You could have borrowed or given a folk song treatment to O Sajni Re, but on the other hand, you decided to take the modern contemporary world music approach.
Yes.
What was the reason behind going against the setting of the film?
I think that came straight from Sparsh and Nitanshi's performances, because they're the next generation in that village, right? They're not the older people. They're the younger ones. They're the young ones of the village. So I felt that the song should reflect their age, as opposed to reflecting the milieu and reflecting what the rest of the village feels like. They are young people. That feeling has to come through. There has to be a freshness in the song.
And then how was the music arrangement that you decided for the song? Were there other instruments that you first decided and then you actually went with the guitar?
No. The beautiful thing actually that happened was that Sajni was the last song that we created for the film, and that was by then I was already deep into the background score. And in the background score, we had already, Kiran has such an eclectic taste in music that that we had already decided between us that we're going to go with world folk music. It's not going to be just tabla, dholak, and harmonium. Well, those are very strong elements. We decided that we're going to have African kora and ingoni and talking drums, and we're going to have the udu pots in place of the ghatam. Those kind of things we'd already decided, and we already have mandolins and banjos and all in the background score. So I think that kind of fed the arrangement of Sajni. And it's you can only be as courageous as your producers let you be in film music. In film music, at the end of the day, you are working to a brief. So I'm really thankful that I have such courageous producers and such a courageous director who, when I sent them this song, they got really excited, and they loved it. Because Amir is after magic. He's people keep talking about perfection, but he's actually after magic. It's not perfection. Nobody chases perfection, because वो करते रहोगे तो यार एक फिल्म के लिए 25 साल लग जाएंगे रिलीज करने में.
Does Amir have a good ear for music?
He has a great ear for music. Kiran is probably the most musically literate director I've worked with. She herself is a superb, piano player, and she's a good singer herself. So we developed a language, and we also are very old friends. So we developed a language very quickly, and we really enjoyed working with each other because, she's so musically sound.
Were there other melodies that were shortlisted before you all arrived at O Sajni Re?
No, actually, the funny thing is most of the other songs had many options. We had many options for Dautwa and many options for Dhime Dhime. But Sajni was the singular song. I presented one song, and that's the song that we went with.
Was Arijit Singh the first choice for this song?
Well, Arijit was not the original voice of the song. Though in my heart, I don't know why he was always the original choice, but that's probably because I'm not so fond of my own voice. I really like Arijit's voice. But Amir seems to believe in my voice more than I do. So he was the one who was, really locked in on my voice when I had sung the demo. I always felt it sounded a little too urban. And Arijit, I think, has really brought, the song alive. He sung it so beautifully. It genuinely feels like, Deepak singing for Phool. And yeah, I'm so glad this is the first time I've worked with Arijit, and it's been an absolute pleasure. And it's such a simple, small song, and it's written by. I must tell you the lyrics. The most amazing thing about this song is that it's written by a gentleman called Prashant Pandey, who I have never met before. I have met him on Instagram and on social medias, where we became friends, and he sent me his work, and I felt that he's the right lyricist for this, because he writes beautifully in Braj and he writes beautifully in Khariboli. So it's a song where we've kept that language of the village intact. It's a very simple lyric, but the arrangement and the style is very modern. So Prashant and I actually met for the first time at the premiere of the film, and that's it's beautiful how in this digital age, thanks to the internet, how beautiful collaborations can happen even without meeting.
So then, which Braj Bhasha words were used in this song? It's all Hindi, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, like ghanere badra gire, teri kami ki barish liye, we don't hear this kind of, it's in a sense it's almost old fashioned. There's something so romantic about that. Actually, the antra is really where we kind of depart, and we use words like salab and things like that. But the original idea that had come from the original words that had come from Prashant were actually in Bhojpuri,
And
much closer to Bhojpuri. When the melody came to me, he was the first person I thought of. And again, it takes such faith and trust in your producers, कि मैंने उनको ये गाना लिरिक्स के साथ भेजा, और उन्होंने ये भी पूछा नहीं कि they just asked me कि who has written these beautiful words, we should just keep this is perfect. And it's how you get new talent in the industry. It's how you get new opportunities. So it's Sajni is just a beautiful story all around.
but Amir, do you think has this natural liking for Braj Bhasha? He actually has used songs in People Live, and there was slightly in.
Oh, yeah. No, he actually we're working on another project right now where we had presented some words in English and he had them removed. he's he's very, very determined to try and use as much Hindi, Urdu, Braj, desipan is the thing that he constantly pushes and he constantly looks for.
Dil se desi, you say.
Dil se desi, totally.
Please give a few lines. I mean, dying to hear O Sajni Re.
Sure, sure. O Sajni re, कैसे कटे दिन रात, कैसे हो तुझसे बात, तेरी याद सताए रे, oh.
How nice. It gives goosebumps each time when I listen to this song.
Thank you.
It's by far one of the finest songs that has come this year. I
Thank you.
mean, Ram, how has your equation with Amir Khan evolved over these years? You of course have worked with him in the past as well for Delhi Belly and then for Talash.
Mhm. Well, the equation is always one of transparency and trust. Um, I must tell you that the our story has many many moments of they sound very dramatic now when we say it, but at that point it was just they were tense moments. Uh, 1 week before the shoot of the first episode of Satyamev Jayate, I was hospitalized with malaria and typhoid. And there was, and we didn't have our first song. We had the title song, but we didn't have our first song. And I was in hospital, and um, the team by and large were recommending that just even for my health's sake, that I get off the project and maybe another composer come in. And Amir called the doctors first. He had a chat with them, and then he called me, and he said, how do you feel about this? And I told him that as far as Satyamev Jayate is concerned, I was born to do this project. And he said कि ये ऐसी बात है. I said, yes, sir, I was born to do this project. He said, तो फिर आप ही करोगे और कोई नहीं करेगा. And the next day we had Chiraiya. So Chiraiya was actually born in the hospital, and I actually sent the song to him. I sent it with just the words. I had just sung the words as Suna Suna, and that was the composition. It was Suna Suna tarara, rara, tarara, rara. And I sent it to him, and he called me back and he said कि हमको अपना गाना मिल गया. And we sent it to Swanand. Swanand wrote the lyrics. I actually got a short release from the hospital to come to the studio, and I personally recorded Swanand on the song, and we locked it. And for the first 3 episodes, Amir arranged for me to be taken from Jaslok to Yashraj to shoot the songs and then go back to hospital. So that's the kind of faith he is and trust he has shown in me, and that's the kind of bond we have. So I don't think it's beyond. Our relationship is beyond money and beyond uh, petty
Politics.
politics. Yeah, we're not in that space at all. I trust him and he trusts me, and it's the same with Kiran. It's the same with the it's the same with AKP. I always feel like AKP is home turf for me. I really enjoy working with the team over there. I enjoy working with everyone over there. It feels like family. It feels like home. So it's just a pleasure.
Sure, now you'll be going to Oscars, hopefully.
Our film will be going to the Oscars. That's
Sure,
what I'm
will be
excited
fine.
about.
I'm sure Amir would love to take the team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited. It's an exciting time for all of us, and it's a film that's healing. It's a film that's given a lot of people a lot of kind of emotional closure. It's a film that it's such a small, sweet film, and we're so proud of it. We're
A
also
big beating
privileged to be
heart.
a part of it. Yeah, with a big beating heart. Thank you so much. That's so beautifully put. And we're also proud of it, and we're also privileged to be a part of it. So we're just very happy right now.
Laapataa Ladies, when it was premiered on Netflix, it actually outperformed Ranbir Kapoor's Animal. You
Hmm.
think the film also has this very strong audience base in US,
Hmm.
considering the reach of Netflix.
Hmm.
Do you think more Academy members will now be watching the film, especially after it's announced as India's Oscar entry?
Well, we can only hope for that because you never know how people are feeling, and you never know how people are going to receive what you've done. I mean, for example, we didn't have the strongest theatrical run. And I genuinely thought that this was one of the films that would do better in the theaters. The kind of response we got on Netflix was so overwhelming when it came on streaming that that it kind of validated all our work. It validated our efforts. It validated the our faith in the film. So hopefully that will carry on. Hopefully it touches more people. Hopefully it brings some joy and some pleasure and some meaning to the Oscar, to the Academy. And if that happens, so be it.
Then how do you think Laapataa Ladies selection as India's entry to Oscars will also sort of propel or will get you more options to choose from in future? You are anyway very selective about what.
I'm not that selective, actually. I always feel like the outsider in this industry. I've never felt like an insider. I've never felt like somebody who's part of the mainstream. I've always felt like somebody who's out from the outside looking in, and I'm very happy with my life. I'm very happy with my career. I don't complain at all. I'm very, very grateful for the journey. At the end of the day, I got to tell you, Vishal, I make music for a living. It's an incredible privilege. you know, it's a superb job. If you can get paid for it, it's an incredible place to be. I never take that for granted. But having said that, um, if this opens new opportunities, life's a journey. Let's enjoy it. I'm just here to enjoy the journey. If it opens new opportunities and new things come, so be it.
Like you said, you recorded this song in Arijit Singh's voice. How long did you all wait for Arijit Singh's reply?
Look, the thing is that when I sent him the song, he was on the road. He was actually on tour, and he performs I think almost 2.5 to 3 hours, and sings almost without a break. So invariably after every show, he needs a break for his voice to rest. So I mean, I wasn't rushing him. The team weren't rushing him. We were happy for him to record it and send it back to us whenever he could. But after a while, yeah, you do get nervous. You think that भाई ये तो होने नहीं वाला है.
अबे कितना
But
टाइम लिया 2 महीना 6 महीना?
no, I think it was a couple of weeks. It was within 2, 3 weeks he sent it back. But the thing is, what he sent back reflects how how committed and how sincere he is as an artist. He sent back 10 finished takes as options. They were not rough takes. They were finished perfect takes as options. And in one, he's opened every take with a reference saying कि ये आमिर सर का brief है, ये किरण मैम को ऐसे पसंद है तो मैंने ऐसे गाया है, राम सर आपने बोला कि ऐसे गाओ, राम सर ये आपके स्टाइल में मैंने गाया है इसको, closest to you, ये बिना स्माइल के गाया है, ये स्माइल के साथ गाया है. It's like, I mean, his commitment to getting it right is so amazing that it's such a pleasure to work with. And all the success in the world hasn't gone to his head. He's still at his heart, just excited about singing a song that he found beautiful. That's the best thing I can say about him. That's the highest compliment I can pay him in.
You know, it was in 1996 that you composed for the album Tanha Dil.
Hmm.
I heard Shan talking about the album and the All About Music recently. Uh, are you friends with him now?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm he's my brother. I can never have I don't have a bad word to say about him.
There was some misunderstanding about the credit, if I'm not wrong, between you and him.
No, I mean, look, the heart of it is that Tanha Dil is loved. Tanha Dil is still remembered. Shan is remembered a lot because of Tanha Dil. Yeah, I mean, I had a very tough time making that album, and the monies were tough, and my rights were taken away, and I made nothing of that album. You know, I composed it, produced it. I almost played everything on that song, but I learned so much. I mean, Sajni would not happen if I hadn't done Tanha Dil. So I'm just I'm just happy. I'm grateful for it all, and I'm grateful for having met Shan at that point in my life. And yeah, it's all good.
You also composed music for Release.
Hmm.
We love the song from that album. Were there input that came from Shah Rukh Khan as well?
Yeah, of course. I mean, everybody has an input. He's also a producer on the film, so he had he had a lot of input. Um, I mean, the big difference between working with
Shah Rukh.
that team on Race, and not Shah Rukh actually, but that the entire team on Race, and working, say, on a film like Laapataa Ladies, or working with, say, AKP. The difference is that, I mean, I had only one person to answer to. I have only one person to answer to in AKP besides the director, and that's Amir. So it's Kiran and it's Aamir. Whereas in Rais, there were a lot of people to answer to. I mean, there were a lot of producers. There were a lot of, kind of stages of approvals that we had to go through. I think that's probably why the film took so long, is because that there's so many opinions that we had to, work with on Rais. So Rais was a very, very different project compared to any project that I've done with, say, AKP, or for that matter, even a film like Fukre, which was relatively simpler.
Was it very challenging for you to work on Race then?
Yeah, I think Race was challenging for everyone, because I think we had a lot of we had so many opinions at play. I think it was difficult even for Shah Rukh. I think it was difficult for everyone, and at the end of it, I felt that we were kind of we were running a three-legged race on that film.
Who then took the final call? Who has the best ear for music from the Race team? Rahul Ranakia?
Everybody is fabulous, no? I mean, everyone's successful in their own right. That's what makes things even more difficult.
How were the settings with Shah Rukh Khan? Was it at
Very good, very good. He's wonderful to work with. He's a really kind person, and he's a generous person, and he's got his opinions. Like, for example, let's take, say, working on Leila, for example. Um, we needed an updated version of that song. We needed we needed a certain kind of a size and a scale. And I remember that phone call that came to me, when he called me, and he calls sometimes very, very late at night. And Rais was like, we were really working at night. That was a project when I became almost nocturnal. And I remember him calling and saying, like, listen, this is the one where we can really, really unleash on size. We can unleash on scale, and we can make it like, I wanted to feel like, uh, an epic song. It's got to be dancey, but it's got to be epic. This can't be done by somebody who's not a film composer. This is meant to be done by a film composer. So you can take it to that level, and it's the same with the background score. I mean, we had so much fun on that, especially with Shah Rukh, and his inputs were crucial because he had that thing where, actually, if you rewatch Rais now, you'll realize it's got a lot of hero moments. It's got a lot of those entry moments and all of that stuff.
does he suggested musical instrument also? Oh,
No, 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 no. He's not that kind of person at all. He just talks emotionally, and he talks about, like, the scale. And actually, I had already used the trumpet. I'd written that theme. Pa-ra-ra-ra, he was really, really into that. He really enjoyed it, and that became like, that became the language. And he was invariably, I would get a message. It would be more like, यार यहाँ पे क्यों नहीं डाला उसको, यहाँ पे भी डालो यार, मजा आएगा. And then, I would do it, and I would send it, and I would get that message back saying, oh, now I get why you didn't use it over here. So it was more like that. It was more like a conversation. But it's great. It's great to collaborate.
now coming back to again Amir Khan production. Now Imran Khan is also gearing up to make a comeback to the.
Hmm.
You have given him one of the most quirkiest song of his career, uh,
Uh-huh.
PK Bose. Are you in touch with him? And is there a plan to collaborate with Imran as well?
Imran's a friend. Imran and I have caught up over the years. Off and on, we've been in touch. We've not talked work at all. We've just talked about life and personal things. He's a very introspective person. He's a very bright guy. Uh, I think that's also probably been a disadvantage of working in Bollywood, because he thinks he's a very deep thinker. And collaboration is definitely going to happen on something or the other. I mean, I look forward to it, and I hope he comes back, because he's 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 good. He's good. He's really good.
And finally, do you think Lapata Ladies will be able to win hearts of the Academy members because of the themes the film is talking about and the message of feminism, agency, and independence that it's carrying? That's likely to form a connection with the Academy members.
Yeah, I also, I mean, one of the things I love about the film is that, the it doesn't paint people as caricatures. There's plenty of good men in the film. There's plenty of flawed men in the film. There's plenty of flawed women and good women. It's very well balanced, and there's so much nuance in the film. It's so beautifully written. And Biplav and Sneha and Divyanidhi, who've story, screenplay, and dialogues, just extraordinary script to work with. I remember the first time we heard the narration, I finished composing, I think, the first three songs of the film within the first week, simply because the narration was so good. I came back and I finished the narration, and I told Kiran, I have to leave right now because I've got the songs in my head, and I know what we need. So I kind of took a copy of the script, and I kept scribbling my notes on the script, and I kept composing. So it's the kind of film that I feel, you know, it's what we needed right now, even as a society. You know, there's I mean, violent content has its place, edgy content has its place, but this kind of film, first of all, is very difficult to make. And you know we are very privileged to have worked on it. We're very fortunate to have worked on it, and hopefully, people react to it the same way that India has reacted to it. That's all we can hope for.
Well, on that note, I want to thank you for talking to me and hoping to see you walking the red carpet at the Oscars in March. Please, I think you're ordering a new tux for yourself. Thank you so much for your time and all the best.
Thank you, Vishal. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And Jate Jate, would you like to give us few lines of your another favorite song from Lapata Ladies as we are celebrating the film?
धीमे धीमे चले पुरवैया, बोले थाम तू मेरी बैया, संग चल मेरे, रोके क्यों जिया, हो धीमे धीमे चले पुरवैया.